Good afternoon. This is Michelle Padilla, the host of the Awareness Show, and I have Cristina Vargas on today. And I understand that you're an actress and you were working on Central Authority. So how's that going?
Correct. It's good. Just waiting for it to come to viewers' homes so people can finally see it after months of anticipation of just publicizing it and whatnot.
And how long did it take you guys to film it?
Well, it was for me. Honestly, it took maybe 2 days. I don't know what it was for other actors because everybody had their separate takes. But for me and my scene, my fellow scene partner, it took probably a day.
That's not bad. And you know Christina West, right? Do you know Christina West?
Oh, yes,
Comedian?
yes, yes. Sorry. I'm like, I heard Christina, but I know her as Kirsten. So,
Oh, Kristen, yes, yes, my fault. I get there's so many Christinas and Christians, like
oh, good.
crazy.
Yeah. They all start looking like,
Yes. So you also have a comic video teaching people about Spanish as well. I heard. How's that going?
that was great. I got to film alongside a buddy of mine, Kurt Tachi, I believe that's how you say his last name. He went viral during the pandemic, doing pretty much a lot of. I mean, I feel like he's been viral this whole time, but I guess what made him stand out was he reenacted a lot of Disney characters in quarantine, and he made up songs that went along with the quarantine and along with like the whole music. He just fixed the lyrics up, and it was very clever, very genius of him to do. And people know him for that. So when people saw me and him do a collab video, they're like, wait a minute, isn't that the guy who did the Disney quarantine songs? I'll be like, yeah, that's him. And
Nice.
I always message him here and there, and I always, thank him for the opportunity, and I always wish him the best. And hopefully I can collab with him in the near future on who knows. So we'll see what happens.
Maybe you guys can come back and sing like a Disney song on the awareness show. How does that sound? Would that be kind of interesting?
I don't know, because I cannot carry a tune if my life depended on it. So if you're ready for me to break glass, then okay, but I'll leave the
I
scene. Yeah.
I can't sing either, so don't feel bad. So, but yeah, I mean, how what are you doing in quarantine? You know, this pandemic time. I know you're working on Central Authority. What other projects are you guys working on right now?
Currently, I've just been auditioning whatever my manager, my agent sends me. I try to do TikTok videos. Um, that's been keeping me busy. It's because I love making people laugh. So it's just the fact that whenever I put something out, I kind of forget about it. And people are like, oh my God, I just saw your video. It was so funny. Now I may not be viral yet, but just to hear that, a few comments along, I feel like I'm doing my job. So along with that, I mean, to try and stay insane with this quarantine, I try to work out. I go out and run, of course, using a mask. But yeah, just try to keep up and try to post stuff so people know that I'm alive and I'm here and I'm relevant and nobody has forgotten about me. So just little things like that. But TikTok, I gotta say, it does take a lot of time, but I love it though. It's like once I start filming a video, I have to go on to the next. I was like, no, I have to do it again. I have to not do it again, but do another one, do another
Yeah,
one. Like, all right, I got to cut myself off and not post too much. Like, just kind of keep people, not overwhelmed. But I just love just shooting content, pretty much, entertaining the masses as much as I can.
I have to follow you on TikTok because I just started using TikTok not too long ago, but just for different fun poses. I always get kicked off on Instagram because they said my music not appropriate. It's somebody copyright and all that
Oh,
stuff.
copyright, yeah.
Yeah, so I can't use the '80s music or whatever I want to use. I'm like, so I always get banned from Instagram. So I got to figure out a way not to use that kind of music. So
Well, yeah, TikTok, I just feel like it's very like liberating, and the fact that they're not like, oh, it's copyrighted and we're blocking. No, they just kind of let you go with your creative juices. And if the song is, even especially if the song is popular, they try to push for that song, like use this sound. And just I think it's a really neat app, especially for not only actors but people who didn't think they were actors and just also
Right.
found themselves creating content and making people laugh, and people are like, we want to see more. So I think it's been a blessing in disguise during the pandemic. So
Yeah, I've been just got back playing Pokemon, so that's how I have downtime. I go play Pokemon
you play
and just
Pokemon Go?
I
So do
do.
I. Yeah, so do
Oh,
I.
get me buddies.
We're buddies now. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So they had an event today, so I was like running to the park and then catching some Pokemon and then come back and then yeah.
Oh my
So
goodness. Yeah, I was just using the lure. I was like, I don't want to go out. And it's just like, oh my goodness, when is this ending? Like I finally just finished not too long ago. I was like, finally, the end.
uh, I lost all my balls and I'm like I'm done. I I gotta go home. So
Oh yeah,
so
that's
what level are you on a Pokemon?
38.
Okay, not bad. 39. So I
It's
play. I have a partner by so all these little Pokemon, come up, and I'm like, okay, I like you. I don't want to go out. Just use the lure.
it's
you
it's just
know.
right now, like, because I remember they were making that special, like, oh, if you reach level 40 by the end of the year, you're gonna get a special badge. And I was like, yeah, I don't see that happening. What,
I'm
5 million?
excited.
No, I'm like at 500,000. Yeah, no, it's okay. I can wait.
Yeah, I can wait. No big deal.
Yeah, for real. I was like,
And seems like every weekend from when the pandemic started, they have new events so people can stay home and play Pokemon Go. Which is kind of cool. You could actually battle, or you could go to the gym, you remote, and stuff like that, and have fun. And so that's
yeah, I
basically.
love the fact that now you don't have to be so close to the stop to spin it. You can just, be at a certain distance, and I'm like, cool, my daily spin, cool.
Yeah, I do that. I have to walk a little bit closer to it because it's like telling me you're too far away. Get a walk. Well, and then I walk my dog sometimes, and he'll play. He'll walk with me, but it's kind of hard when you play Pokemon and you're walking the dog at the same time. So you gotta watch out. And it's like,
Definitely, definitely. But it's a fun pastime though.
yeah. So, like I said, I started doing podcasting 9 years ago, and recently I met up with Matt. So Matt's been giving me a lot of guests, a lot of celebrities, talking about Central Authority, which I'm looking forward to it. So hopefully you guys can find out if it's on Netflix, Amazon, what do you call it? What other one? Hulu. I can't think of anyone else, but I'm hoping, Kristen said pretty soon you guys gonna be maybe in April. Hopefully it'll come out. We'll see.
Well, the sooner the better. Because
So
after
what
once you wrap everything, you're just like, oh, when is it coming out? Because everybody's like, when is it coming out? I want to see it. I'm like, hold on, like, I'm anticipating it too. So hopefully soon.
So, what was it like for that type of what do you call it? Atmosphere doing it in Zoom? Because you can't meet up with people. What was it like doing that type of a movie?
It was definitely different and interesting. Um, Definitely kept me on my toes, and just the fact that I'm used to being in a set where it's like roll sound, roll this, and quiet on set, and it was definitely different. And I think this is kind of I feel like it's a newfound option to shoot movies. You don't really have to rely or depend. You can always find some really different innovative way of shooting content. You don't really have an excuse nowadays. And just the fact that I was invited on board to this, I was just like, I don't know what I'm getting myself into, but I'm really stoked, I'm really excited, and I'm glad and excited for it. And I had a really fun time shooting. I just thought it was different and funny, and especially trying to like hold composure when you're trying to shoot. You don't want to ruin the scene by laughing, like, oh, hold on, can we just redo that again? And I just love the fact that we had a lot of like it was a lot of playing off each other, and the chemistry was great amongst cast, and it was just a really, really not only different experience but fun experience that I'm hoping I get to do more of these kind of things. Kind of, I guess, testing it out in the near future, and hoping this can be another outlet for us to make films and content.
Now, what other movies have you been in before besides Central Authority?
I've done a lot of independent films. I can't remember the name of them on top of my list, but to be honest, I haven't really been on a film since probably 2016, because I mostly do a lot of sketch comedy web series. A lot of one of the other content creators I collab with is also Jenny Lorenzo. She's this very hilarious content creator, and I met her when she did a show, and I saw her show twice at the Upright Citizens Brigade in Hollywood. And all of a sudden, I just found myself being a part of her sketch, and she made me this character, and I'm like, awesome. So I'm really, again, grateful for these opportunities. But yeah, a lot of the stuff I just do it's been mainly YouTube, collaborating with these content creators.
And do you feel like that this is like the new thing, virtual movie Zoom? How you guys gonna act in the future, not because of the pandemic right now? If that makes sense.
I mean, I think it's definitely an option, and I love the fact that it's an option. It's not like, oh, it's I hope it's not something that gets overlooked, because I have seen other things being made. I think there was not only film wise, but sketch wise. Like, I think SNL did a thing that dealt with Zoom. A lot of people, again, have used this pandemic to be creative with these outlets that they're given. And I think I could see this becoming somewhat mainstream. And again, I'm excited for it, and just to see the possibilities and creations that people come up with, because there's so many talented people out there, filmmakers and whatnot.
There was a movie called Lockdown that just recently came out. It was with Anne Hathaway and I forgot the other actor. It's on HBO Max. I started watching it, but I just couldn't finish it because there's so many movies are coming out there talking about the pandemic, talking about lockdown, and it's like, oh, this, what do you want to watch now? And so it's like, I don't know. So, but I think you're right. This is a good, step, and I think we're gonna be like the Jetsons in the near future if we're not now. You know what I mean? Like fancy flying cars, and then we're gonna have Zoom meetings. They had Zoom meetings back then, so I can see it slowly happening later, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I always hear people having conversations. Oh, I can't wait till this is over. We can get together, and I'm like, well, what does this is over look like? Is this, because when we entered this, I guess everybody's expectation was like, oh, it's only going to be a couple months. We're going to resume this day. And then they're like, holy moly, no, it's not stopping. We got to keep postponing. So,
Right.
So again, I really see this as a major outlet to do various things. Meeting family, when you usually are supposed to visit them, interviews, filming, content creating. I just think it's endless possibilities.
Yeah, and I think it's gonna be like that for award ceremonies now too. For like
Yes.
how they did it. So it's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out in the future. I don't think the pandemic is not going away anytime soon. And we don't have enough COVID vaccines, so it's just we just hope for the best. You know what I'm saying? And It's kind of scary at this time, but like you said, as long as people have content and they're creating and they want to make, people laugh and, have uh, poor comedies or whatever, this is the way to do it right now because you don't want to go up there and hug people if somebody has COVID, you know. I I start sneezing and they think I have COVID. I said, no, I have sinus issues. I'm like, no, 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 no. So it's like they're like, stay away from me. I'm like, hey, I can
Yeah,
help it.
no, that freaks me out when it's allergy season. I'm just like, oh. And I remember when the pandemic started, I was scared to even like cough or anything without, I'm just like, oh, someone's gonna like look at me like, oh my God, does she have it? It's like, you're get away from my space. And it's like,
It's
I
just allergies.
I guess they don't exist now. It's like, oh, it's either you have COVID or not. There's no such thing as allergies anymore. It's like, yes, there is, but okay.
Yeah, like especially if people from California, in Southern California, we have Santa Ana winds. And if you have sinus issues and Santa Ana winds at the same time, you're in trouble.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm like. I'm like, I guess I have to invest in allergy medicine now or something. I don't know, because I just let them really just right because they don't get really that bad.
Well, I do the Nelly pot and then I do Benadryl at night, so that knocks me out. I'm like, gone out. Oh, that's usually what I do. But I tell people, I said, you guys, you're from the East Coast. We get Santa Ana winds, and you guys have no idea what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they're like, oh, it's just a little wind. No, it's not a little wind. You get dust, you get everything, you get fires. It's I live in Oxnard, and it was pretty bad these past couple of days. We didn't get any snow or anything like that, but we did get our power knocked out, so it was kind of
Mm.
scary. So, and they're like, oh, but you live in Oxnard, you have a beach. Yeah, we have a beach, but we get all kinds of weather, So,
Doesn't mean anything.
so what else? What's your next project going to be working on, Christina?
I don't have anything lined up right now per se. I'm just gonna keep, again, creating content through TikTok and try to entertain the masses.
There you go. I'm
Yeah,
gonna send. We have opened up a shop on Threadless Shop, and we have the Where to Show T-shirts on sale right now. And Matt always tells me to tell you guys to look on the Threadless Shop, and I'll send you the link.
okay.
And so I have a graphic designer who does comic books. You might want to hook up with her. Her name's Maxie Rodriguez. She does Chubby Bunny, and she is a phenomenal graphic designer, and she creates wonderful graphic designs. So she did the logo for the awareness show, and she's getting her name out there. But she loves Spanish comedy, and I want to introduce you to her as well. So we'll
All right
connect
on.
on Facebook. Yeah, and she she's a little shy at first, a little quiet, but then she'd be like, I can draw her. She's fantastic. So that's one of the team members of mine, and then I have my business partner Ruben. He is my sound engineer guy. He fixes the computers or whatever anything needs to go down. He does remote too now. So like for instance, he'll be fixing my computer. He'll say, oh, "Okay, this is wrong with it. I can fix it really quick over the phone," just like that.
Wow.
So yeah, it's weird, like you saying, because now it's a time everything going virtual, and if you have something going wrong in your computer, he he can do remote access. I could fix it up and say, oh, that's what's wrong with it. Okay, so I think, and then I was talking to Patrick. I don't know if you know Patrick, but he worked on Star Trek, and he's saying that he did a couple of comedy Zoom events
Mm.
and at drive-bys. He said that was very interesting. And so he said that it was just like going to a drive-in theater, but instead people were honking their horns, and when the comics go on stage, they were honking their horns. So I think that's the way the future. For right now, I see it. So Christina, really quick, Do you have? I have a couple of friends who want to be in acting. Do you suggest start like TikTok, starting out at TikTok, or how do they want to get in? They want to get into the acting. So what do you recommend them?
Oh, I definitely, I think TikTok is a great beginner tool because I mean, a lot of people are like, well, what's so great about lip singing? And, because I have heard the, it's not always going to be rainbows and butterflies. I never hear people going, oh yeah, it's so great. I've seen a couple people post on Facebook. I don't get it. And I think for me, TikTok helps me exercise facial expressions, that muscle, because we, when we say things, we not only say it, but we express them. Whereas, I mean, voiceover, it's different. You have to practice with the tonality of your voice. But
Right.
TikTok, I just feel like sometimes I do things on a whim, on a first take, or sometimes I'll do second or third, and then when I see the whole process put together, I'll be like, oh wow, like did I really do that? Like those facial expressions, because when you get so into it, you don't even know. But I feel that's a good outlet to start at, in terms uh, of expressing yourself. I just think that in TikTok, there are no rules. There are people who even I'm not gonna lie, I've seen people who don't have the lip sync 100% down, but it's okay. It takes practice. And just a big suggestion of mine is when you want to do acting, to have thick skin and not to worry about others judging you, because you are going to get a lot of, like, you're not always going to get, oh, that was great, or oh, keep practicing. You're always going to get people who like to troll, or for whatever reason say something. So definitely have thick skin, and don't let that bother you. And I mean, I'm my own worst critic, to be honest. I'm more like, oh, that sucked. Come on, Christine, really? Like, uh, but again, I have fun with it though. I kind of, my thing is that I'll post something and I'll forget about it. I'm not like looking at it like, oh my God, I only have one view. No, I just kind of keep going.
Just have
And
fun with it.
yeah, just have fun with it. And I always tell people, if you're starting out, I mean, it's kind of difficult during a pandemic right now. But if you're starting out, like when I started out doing background, which is the environment, the background of a scene. When you're at a bank, it's not just
Yeah.
the characters, it's people walking and getting their errands, or the security guard or whatnot. I started off doing that because it helped me. I wanted to learn the terminology on set and just see what happens on set. And I always told myself, if I was to on the spot get something, that'll be great, better. But as of now, I just kind of want to learn what goes on set. And my biggest thing is always have patience, because I was recently working on this commercial um, right before the pandemic started, and the casting director, no, not the casting director, the director and the makeup artist were like, thank you for your patience. And like, wow, like you're really patient. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm grateful, to be here, and I'm just observing and getting out of the way. I don't want to be in people's ways, because they were like, no, we deal with divas and people who, and I'm like, it baffles me pretty much. But I always tell people, be patient and be kind to people, because you never know, maybe they'll have a project and they'll want to keep you in mind. But if you rub them the wrong way, they're gonna be like, no, forget, next. I can't work with
Yeah.
this person. So I always say be grateful for the opportunities, whether big or small. I never have this big ego where I'm like, oh no, this is beneath me. No, I'm always very grateful, and I'm always very thankful for any opportunity that comes my way. So that's just me.
Hey, where can they find you, Christina? Like, what social media platform you're
Oh,
on?
geez. I'm on Facebook. I don't know how. Uh, Facebook.com/ my first and last name. This is, I don't know if they can see it on my square here. Cristina Vargas 50. Or I'm also on Instagram at Christy Misty, Cristimisty, which Misty comes from Pokemon.
Ah,
Elementary. Yeah, funny thing about that, my brother, when we first had internet, when dial-up was a thing,
Yes.
we were all, what should our email be? And my brother said, well, you like Pokemon, you like Misty, why aren't you Christy Misty? And I'm like, that's brilliant. And I've carried that all throughout. And till this day, I use it. I use it for my social media handles if it's available. If it's not, I'm like, draft. So I
Yep,
just,
there you go.
yeah.
And you're on TikTok?
I am on TikTok. Again, Cristina Vargas, what is it, 10? Yeah, Cristina Vargas 10. So just search
Okay.
my name, hopefully it pop out. If you can't remember that. I'm also on Twitter at Christy Misty. What else am I forgetting? I think that's about it. Yeah, it's all
Say
my
YouTube?
social.
No, yeah, no.
I actually do have a YouTube. I have not uploaded any content. It's funny because YouTube is something separate that I do. I started out doing videos like 2 years ago where I try different foods because I guess in a way I'm somewhat of a foodie, and I always have like places to recommend to people, and they're like, oh my god, you're such a foodie, I've never heard of this place, and it was a great recommendation. I'm just like, hey, on my free time, I just, if I have spare change, I like to go to a restaurant, and I also like to support local businesses. And I had this concept of, during the pandemic, I wanted to kind of go and highlight, the small moms and pop shops, but I somehow got sluggish and lazy, and I was just like, and now people are like, when are you gonna post? And I'm like, soon, now that I know people want to see more.
So
Yeah, so
you,
that's in the making.
you live in Hollywood, right?
Yes.
Do you ever venture down to like South Bay, like Carson? There's a place called Diana's Mexican Restaurant. They have the best burritos in town over there. I mean, big, huge, fat burritos.
I
And
think,
so, you been there?
no, I've heard of it, but it's so funny because I'm on Yelp all the time, of course, and I actually bookmark places that I want to go review. And to be honest, sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I'm like too lazy to record. Not only that, but I just want my peace and quiet. I'm just like, I want to eat this in peace without having to talk on the camera. And then I'm like,
Yeah, I didn't
oh.
do your review.
And then doing my review, but then I was like, oh man, that was so good, I should have reviewed it next time. But one of my favorite foods, though, I love trying is sushi. I love going to different sushi restaurants, but I try to stay away. I'm like, all right, this is getting too pricey. I need to really go to small, because I love Mexican food as well, and Italian, and pizza and whatnot. So
There's a there's a sandwich shop called Giuliano's. I don't know if you've heard of it.
yes, I have.
Okay, you gotta try that one as well. So they got big, huge torpedoes about this big. There's a sandwich shop in Gardena, and I think there's one in Redondo Beach. And I don't know if you tried Pink's hot dog yet.
Pink's,
Yeah.
yes, I have. They're actually, I don't know if you heard, they're going out of business soon.
No, I thought they were just going under quarantine for 2 months.
No, I recently heard they were going out of business. Then a lot of people were
I'm
like, well,
shocked.
yeah, yeah. So I'm like, maybe I need to do a video on that before they do their final farewell. But yeah, I guess they couldn't keep up with the pandemic, as a lot of restaurants couldn't, and it breaks my heart. But that's, I'm like, I gotta go support, and I want to support everything, but I'm not rich. So yeah.
But yeah, those two restaurants, I recommend you trying it. And there's another shop called on in San Pedro called Busy Bees. It's a sandwich shop.
Oh,
So I don't know if you like sandwiches, but they have good sandwiches, and trust me, they're really good. So San Pedro, Redondo Beach, and Carson. Those are the tops. So if you go on Yelp, check it out. It's you won't regret it. Trust me.
I'll definitely email you for you to remind me, and I can now bookmark those. So,
I
because there's so many
will.
pieces, I'm like, I want to try everything. So,
And I'm gonna introduce you to Maxie, and because she's gonna love your comic web series, because she's she's phenomenal. So she's gonna be gasping for air for in a minute because I mentioned her online. So she'll kill me it for later. But this is all the time we have, Christina. I would love you to come back on the show and catch up, and we'll see where you are from there. Would you
Great.
like to come back? And I will add you on my Pokemon so we can play Pokemon.
Yes. Yes.
So this is Michelle Padilla, the host of the Awareness Show, and we're gonna have more guests next week. Thank you, Matt Chasey, for hooking me and Christina up. And I'm gonna send this out to you as soon as I'm done, Christina. So I hope you have a good weekend. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye, guys.
Thanks.